Hey everybody, this is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report, and this is I'm talking about the dumbing down of America today. And what you're seeing on the screen are Yale students who were asked to sign a petition to repeal the First Amendment, and they agree to, surprisingly enough, or not. I put these videos out all the time. Mark Dice is known for doing them. He'll go out and ask people, okay, why are you off today? It's Memorial Day. What are we celebrating? And nobody knows. They're clueless. What's the 4th of July? Nobody knows what it stands for. Who's the vice president? Questions like that. And we're seeing the decline of our society, the dumbing down of America. And it's a travesty out there. Do you know, when we just went through this whole election process, and a lot of the millennials were all for Bernie Sanders. They loved his ideas. They were so popular among many of the college kids out there. But did they even know what he was talking about? And I'm thinking, no. Because if they sat there and realized that the free college, free this, free that, free this, that it just isn't going to happen and that's not how life is, they wouldn't have been for him, but they were for him. These kids, these young kids, they think they know all there is out there. They're the students of the world. These Yale kids think they're smarter than the average guy. But they're really uninformed and ignorant. And the sad part of this is that we're out there, essentially, us parents are mortgaging off our houses. We're going into debt. The kids are going into debt for an education that they probably shouldn't even be getting. You know, like I tell my daughter all the time, the world needs ditch diggers too. So you got these kids out there. And there was a study out by National Geographic at Roper Public Affairs. They looked at 18 to 24-year-olds. And they said that half of them, actually more, 60% cannot find Iraq or Saudi Arabia on a map. Iraq, folks. We've been bombing them for how many years? Iraq and Syria, right next to each other. That a lot of people are worried that this is going to be the startup of World War III. Yet these kids, these college kids, college-age kids, do not even know where Iraq is. How sad, how tragic is that? You know, when I went to school, as early as elementary school, we were given basically a blank map and said, you got to name all these states. You got to know where these states are. You got to look around the globe and know where these different countries are. You got to know where these capitals are. Which is the capital here? Which is the capital there? It was a different time, a different year, of course. But nowadays, if you were to throw that out there, these kids might whine. They'd want their safe place. They'd say you're being oppressive. You're being a racist. Where's my safe place? Like this idiot on the screen. Think about it. She didn't want people out there filming, and she wanted someone to come out there and be a bully with the guy. I remember watching that. It was amazing. But back to the college grads, you know, a high percentage of them can't read. They can't even interpret a basic food label. They're 6 times more likely to know who the American Idol winner is than to know who the Speaker of the House is. And this should be scary because this is our future. These kids are our future. 20% of the 4-year college students demonstrated just a basic ability to do math. 30% of the 2-year college students couldn't even progress past elementary arithmetic. And this is a study that was done out there by some forum lawyers. How scary is that? How about the military? When I went in the military in the 80s, it was pretty stringent. Couldn't, you know, with the criminal records, everything, but they had a lot of us. But right now, they're having a hard time getting people in. Why? Because academically, a lot of these people just aren't passing the test. They're not smart enough. Physically, these kids are fat. They're dumbed down. They're doing drugs. Their medical conditions, their criminal records. These are all issues that are impacting the military right now and their inability to get qualified candidates into there. Believe it or not. This was a report off Just Facts back in 2009. Students who graduated in 2014, you know, they take that ACT, college readiness test, and they looked at various ethnic groups to see who's higher up on the benchmark, who's more prepared. The Asians topped the list, and blacks were at the bottom at 11%. So they look at rates of enrollment of people that are getting into college. Asians at the top again, I think it was 80%, and blacks at 57%. And so there's an issue there, a disconnect. More students are admitted to college when they're not ready. They shouldn't be going in there. Like I said, the world needs ditch diggers. The world needs fry cooks. A lot of these kids, if you look at those numbers, should not be in college. Admitting these students into these colleges is basically just to satisfy the financial needs of the college. And I think I did a rant on the greenback, basically illustrating how these people are out there. These colleges are pushing these kids to get into school. They're lowering the criteria, everything, so that they can get more of that financial aid money. You know, hey, we can get a kid in here and get $80,000. He might last a year or two, but we got that 80 grand, whereas we would have had nothing before. And all we got to do is lower the criteria, which is leading to the dumbing down of Americans. That and too much TV, watching stuff like American Idol. And so they're putting their financial interest. These schools are putting their financial interest ahead of the interest of the students. I mean, that's not good for them to go there for 2 years, get heavy in debt, and then be back out on the street in reality. The parents that are putting out all this money, they're mortgaging their houses. The taxpayers that are picking up the bill for these defaults. Or the nation as a whole. The nation as a whole. More students are admitted in college, into college than should be, that are not college ready. I didn't say that right. I got distracted by a corner of my eye. They're not college ready. More and more are being admitted in. And that, again, is to satisfy that interest. To accommodate those colleges and to accommodate the administrators for their bottom line. And colleges are watering down the criteria. They're lowering the standards. And this is what we're getting. People that will sit there and sign to repeal the First Amendment. People that do not know who our vice president is. People that probably can't identify where Iraq is and probably cannot identify where Florida is, even though they live in Florida. And it's a sad day in America, and this needs to change, folks. It's time to wake up. It's time to turn off the TV. Time to turn off I think I did a rant on the TV, and what it is a mechanism just to dumb down America. This has been Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. What say you?